What is going on, guys? What is going on? It's been 2 months since I made a video. Just moved to Florida. Life is busy for me right now, but I am gonna finish up my Thor series. But I wanted to talk about this Moon Knight series on Disney Plus. How does it compare to the Moon Knight of the comics? Alright, the first episode of Moon Knight came out this morning. I checked it out. I actually enjoyed the first episode. It was a cool episode. It seemed different, a little different from the comics. Mark Specter or Stephen Grant didn't know who the hell he was. He didn't know who the fuck Mark Specter was. He didn't know anything. He was this British dude working basically a bullshit job. and it was definitely different because Stephen Grant from the comics is this rich millionaire Bruce Wayne type of dude. And let me get into the alter egos of Mark Specter or Moon Knight before I even go on with this video. Pretty much, Mark Specter is a mercenary. He killed people for money or whatever. He did a lot of dirty shit, and then eventually Bushman, his arch nemesis, with leader of the mercenary group, they pretty much turned on him. Bushman beat him to a pulp, left him in the desert to die. This guy crawled in the desert, found some type of temple. A temple where the moon god Khonshu statue was, and the moon god Khonshu brought this guy back to life under one condition. Either you can be my avatar, you could be my fist to fight injustice in the world, vengeance or whatever in the world, and I'll let you live. So Mark Specter agreed to it. He made a costume to resemble the moon god Khonshu, and he went out there and fought crime. So he went back to the United States, created this Stephen Grant persona to be this millionaire guy, to pretty much mask that he's actually a vigilante going out at night beating people. And he also made another alter ego called Jake Lockley. Jake Lockley is a cab driver. He drives a cab. He keeps his ear on the streets. He knows what's going down, who's doing the drugs, who's the kingpin, who's a new shot caller in town. He knows all that type of shit. So he's the guy that knows the stuff. So he pretty much, gets all the info and all that. He drives people around. Even some mobsters he drives mobsters around and shit like that. And they be telling him what's going down and all that. So anyway, and then he also has another alter ego called, what was it? Mr. Knight. Mr. Knight came around a little later, but Mr. Knight is basically actually an alter ego of Moon Knight. Pretty much Mr. Knight is a dude that wears a suit. He wears a mask. He's like a detective type of dude. He helps the cops. He does detective work. That type of stuff. And then you have the Moon Knight. Obviously, the Moon Knight is the Batman type of persona. He's a dude that walks around with a cape and all that, all white, fighting crime, all that type of stuff. Gadgets, all that type of stuff. So, I watched the first episode. And I definitely love the first episode. I like the way how he morphs into the costume, which is cool. I like the fact that he doesn't know his alter egos, which is cool. It gives the series a little bit of mystery. What's going to happen next? It keeps people coming in every week. I like that part about the Moon Knight series. Hopefully they bring in his two pretty much sidekicks, which is Frenchie from the comics. That was his boy. That was a dude that he was pilot. Him and this Frenchie guy were mercenaries back in the day, so they're good friends. And his girlfriend Marilyn. Those two characters were the mainstay of the Moon Knight comic when it first came out. The first original volumes of Moon Knight. Those two characters were the mainstay. They need to put those characters in the series. I don't know if they will, but I know that Bushman, his arch nemesis in the series. So, but I like the episode. Definitely, it looks like it's gonna go into more of the supernatural side of Moon Knight, because Moon Knight does both. He can fight regular crime, and he also fights supernatural stuff. Like, for example, Moon Knight's first ever appearance, he fought against a werewolf or whatever. Moon Knight fights against ghouls, demons, regular people, the kingpin. He fights it all. He does everything. So he's a definitely interesting character. Definitely can't wait to see what they do with this series. But how does it compare? Does Moon Knight really compare to the comics? I gotta see more episodes. But so far, they mentioned the Mark Specter. They mentioned Stephen Grant. Stephen Grant isn't rich. He's just a regular dude working a bullshit job. But we'll see what happens here. Hopefully we get to see Marilyn and Frenchie and all them people, because I'm a guy that, you know, I know Moon Knight. When I was a kid or whatever, I used to read Spider-Man, X-Men, all that type of stuff. I was always in the comic store. I was always in the comic store called Bulletproof. I was always there as a kid getting comics, and the guy told me, hey man, we have this guy that's like a Batman type of character. His comics are cheap, you should check him out. You know, and it was like 75 cents or whatever at the time. They were very cheap, $1 maybe. So I'm like, hey, fuck it, I got it. I read it and I got hooked on the Moon Knight character. I literally bought all his volumes. I was going every week to the store to buy more and more Moon Knight comics. So I'm pretty knowledgeable in this character. I think I'm probably one of the most knowledgeable people on the internet about this character. I wouldn't say the most, but you know, I think I know. I'm like definitely top 20 in knowledge of this character, Moon Knight. So, you know, I know my thing about Moon Knight. So, but we'll see. I like the first episode. I like what they're doing with the first episode. I like the fact that it seemed like this the Moon Knight himself has like supernatural powers, where he's fighting like, you know, demon dogs and all that type of stuff. And in the comics, he does have powers. Like Khonshu gave Mark Specter supernatural strength, like enhanced speed, enhanced strength, enhanced agility, depending on the shape of the moon. If the moon was a full moon, he was, you know, at his full strength. When the moon was half moon, he was half strength, etc. Unfortunately, Mark Specter, and the moon god Khonshu had a big falling out. Khonshu said, fuck you, I'm gonna take away all your super enhanced speed, strength, and agility. I'm taking away all that shit. Now you're just gonna be a regular dude. And Moon Knight's a regular guy who's highly skilled, knows how to box, knows martial arts, all that type of stuff. So I like the first episode of Moon Knight. Definitely a good episode. Little comic accurate, little stuff that Marvel Studios added, but I enjoyed it. You know, can't wait for the next episode.
If you like my content, rate, comment, subscribe. Take it easy. Later.